etc. You will have some additional homework. Where, how, why, I'll tell you. Okay, the first one is this bridge collapse. This bridge collapse is similar to the Morbi bridge collapse that happened a few years ago. The overall, see, look at this, 7th incident since 2021. The overall theme that you have to focus on is quality of standards, quality or standards of construction. Is it enforced or not? This standards, BIS standards, building codes, national building codes. Okay. This is the background you need to know. Today's session is going to be a bit shorter only, so just take down wherever I'm asking you to take the notes or homework. We'll focus on that. Right. See, reads the last voter, whatever is discussed in the last few days. There's nothing new, nothing additional. So I'll just briefly sum up. Is there an intentional or deliberate attempt from the present government to exclude any section of the society? This is what you have to see. This article also criticizes that this is a intentional effort by the ongoing government with respect to the Citizenship Amendment Act, NRC and SIR, Special Intensive, to exclude Muslims. This is the criticism. This article is written by the General Secretary of CPI, the Communist Party. So this ideological tinge will always be there. So take it with a pinch of salt, look at both the sides. But what is the main takeaway from this article? This paragraph. You can go back and check this Indian Express article. It talks about the Article 5 to 11, the concept of citizenship. Yesterday we were discussing in the context of precedents. Elon Musk cannot become the president of United States. Someone else from other countries who are not born in US, they cannot become a part of the US government machinery. But that's not the case in the case of India. Why? The justification, just soli and just sanguine, is given here. Please read this. This is the important takeaway. Minding the minerals gap. See, in Energy Atmanirbharta, in the last 1 month, we have been discussing this point over and over again. So, this mineral gap is about critical minerals. Critical minerals are those minerals which are useful to move away from fossil fuels and also to move towards an economy that is increasingly reliant on frontier technologies like artificial intelligence, IoT, etc. The raw materials required to manufacture the hardware uses critical minerals. Let's say, for example, e-vehicles. Those require these critical minerals. So, what is the fund of this article? Historically, if we are dependent on any resource that is not available in India, we were forced to forge relations in international relations in tune with the country that is supplying that raw material. In this process, we were losing strategic autonomy. Now, with this critical minerals, the article suggests that we have to focus on triple R approach, reduce, reuse and recycle the critical minerals, develop R&D to make India a hub for R&D in critical minerals, and reduce dependency by recycling them time and again. This is the gist of this article, and this is what you are supposed to take away from this article. Nothing more, nothing less. This one. Today is Guru Purnami, so usually we pay our respects to our Guru on this day. Here, the takeaway from this article that you can use in your ethics and essay is Kabir ke dohe. What are the features, what are the qualities of a Guru? This is discussed here. Just like a potter who taps from the outside but nurtures from the inside, who is keeping the interests of the student or the disciple at the heart of every activity that he does. Here it is given. A guru should be harsh, but he should also be soft. That is what this article is talking about. And this article mentions a lot of examples that you can take away for your ethics and essay paper. So please take this article, note it down, and have a look at the cultural elements where we have this Guru Sishya Parampara, and compare it with the present day, how the relation between a teacher and a student is being reduced to mere consumerism. It should not become like a client and patron relation, or a customer and a service provider. The bond in Indian culture is towards Guru Sishya Parampara, and Indian civilization as such valued this bond. That's why we have to relook at how the situation is changing today. This one, Brics. Recently, Rio summit happened in Brics. The overall way in which you have to project this Brics, project it like Brics versus G7. Project Brics like an alternative to the G7 in a world where we are witnessing the failure of UN. Increasingly, global institutions like UN are taking a backseat because of a multipolar world. There are many power centers. UN, which was supposed to act like a platform which settles almost every global issue, that is taking a backseat now, and we are no longer witnessing a trend of UN becoming a platform for solutions. So the world is moving towards multilateral groupings like G7 to resolve the issues. India should do well to use platform like Brics to voice the needs of the global south. Global south means to the south of equator we will see a lot of developing countries. India should become a representative of the global south. It's a metaphorical term that represents all the developing countries. Okay? So this is what is discussed here. We should not move towards the best inclination. We should not take a harsh anti-Israel stance or pro-Israel stance also. We have to maintain our strategic autonomy. That is the consistent theme across any international relations organization. That is how we have to go forward. That is this, not pulling its punches, Brics declaration. We've already seen this. Nothing much to elaborate here. But today, most importantly, Article 5 to 11, this paragraph is the most important thing. The concept of citizenship. Go back to your Lakshmikant, revise the citizenship chapter, then read this. And read the entire thing. You will see what is important here. Yeah. Is palm oil bad for health? The background that you need to know. Edible oil or cooking oils. Previously, we used to get cold pressed oils. Okay. Or in today's world, you are seeing this as a fancy term, but we used to get normal, oils where seeds are, you have cattle, the seeds are crushed in a place where the cattle run in circles, and that is used by homes. Traditionally, this was the case. Depending on the geography, wherever the population found the relevant oil seeds, they use that. For example, mustard, groundnut, all these kinds of oils were used. But as a population grew, India started importing edible oils, and now greater than 50% of the edible oil comes as imports. Okay. So, palm oil is definitely bad for health because it will increase the cholesterol. Of course, if you eat it in moderation, if you consume it in moderation, that's fine. But no, across the consumeristic culture that India is witnessing today, fast food, easy access to tasty food is taking a priority because palm oil is processed further and used in normal snacks also. For example, take a look at the packaging of any snacks. You will see palm oil or cottonseed oil or anything. Excessive processing is dangerous because it will increase the cholesterol, LDL type of cholesterol, which is unsafe for human beings beyond a point. It will cause oxidative stress along with carbohydrates when you consume more, which will increase inflammation in our body, and over a long period of time it will cause cancer if we continuously let it happen. So that's why it is not good. Here in the last paragraph, you will notice the Indian Council of Medical Research guidelines, ICMR guidelines. Note them. Okay, you can use them in your answers in GS2 health. Under GS2 health, you have broadly communicable diseases, non-communicable diseases. Focus on the non-communicable diseases here. Under that, lifestyle diseases like diabetes, heart stroke, cancer, all of them are because of our lifestyle. So we can focus on this part to keep a lot of people healthy. This is the present trend. That is palm oil. Measuring inequality. This article talks about two kinds of inequality: consumption inequality and wealth inequality. With respect to wealth inequality, inequality is rising in India. Richer are getting richer, poorer are getting poorer or remaining stagnant. This is what the World Bank report says. But when it comes to consumption, there is not much of a difference. We are having less gap in terms of consumption. So, what are the takeaways for you in this article when you are reading? You will take a look at consumption inequality and wealth inequality. Two different kinds of inequalities. Here, there are limitations of survey data. What does it say? Calculation of inequality is unlikely to capture the widening gap. This is because surveys, whether they are about consumption, falter in capturing the data of the richest. Rich people will not give you details. There is a problem of tax evasion. So you don't have how much wealth that these people have. In reality, they have much more wealth than they actually claim on paper. So there is this loopholes where they will avoid taxes in some way or the other. That will not help us capture the exact data. So this loopholes or the limitations of the survey data is what you should be focusing on. Okay, please read this. This one, India's Global South outreach, give and take and a delicate balance. I don't think I have to explain further because it's already explained. Yeah, this one. Aim to double loan book. Sitaraman to NBFCs. What is the role of NBFCs in the Indian economy? To the consumers who do not get loans from traditional banking channels. Let's say, for example, an Uber driver wants to buy a car instead of working for someone. He does not have any credit-worthy instruments. NBFC's role is to take that additional risk at a higher interest rate. Let's say normal SBI is giving at 10%. These NBFCs will take 15% because they're taking more risk and give a loan. It is their headache to figure out who should be given loan, how should they be given. And this is important for credit growth. Only once you have access to credit, the informal sector heavily depends on NBFCs because they do not have traditional documentation. Right. So, credit growth is linked to this NBFCs. And that's why our finance minister is talking about aiming for the 2x of our loan book. Nvidia becomes the first company to have a 4 trillion valuation. Why is this an important news? Because in a world that is increasingly moving towards AI, you have to see which companies will control the narrative. So the antitrust behavior, competition, where competition is curbed, if any company is exhibiting that tendencies because of a virtual monopoly, we have to ensure that that is not the case. So in India, you have Competition Commission of India to curb monopoly. Okay, this is what you have to focus on. That's it for the day. Not much of a news today. Okay, see you tomorrow.